Nolan Will's friend lawyers panics after Nancy Grace exposes them live. And to me, that's not surprising. Come on now, it's Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is like a white woman, Johnny Cochran. Like, she knows her stuff. She knows it. And you have to know she's going to play the devil's advocate. That's right. And if she sees any or detects any foul play, she's going to call you out on it right then and there. That's what her whole entire audience loves when she gets on their ass. I'm talking back pockets. Okay? Without further ado, let's get into it.
Attorneys of Nolan Wall's fake friends live on her show for everybody to see. Had them stuck, had them stuttering, had them confused. And these are attorneys. Now, I want to point out something very peculiar that I found very interesting. See, when the attorneys went to go sit down with Officer Tatum, they brought, like Nolan Wall's fake friends with them, right? They brought Warren, they brought Jobs, they brought everybody to come and sit down with Officer Tatum and tell their side of things.
Can you believe that? That lets you know that dude is getting paid for it. Like, he's been spreading this narrative all of this time because he's been getting paid for it.
When they went to go talk to Nancy Grace, you know what they did? They left them at home. They made sure Nolan Well's friends or fake friends was nowhere in the vicinity of Nancy Grace. They left them at home. If Officer Tatum gets to speak to, them, then why can't Nancy Grace? So I found that peculiar.
No, you don't. You know damn well if it's any kind of guilt in anything that you've done in your lifetime, stay away from Nancy Grace. She is going to put a spotlight on it, and she going to drive you.
The first things they addressed is the lie that Tatum was telling on his show before he went on Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace absolutely embarrassed him. So they addressed this bold-faced lie that Tatum has told. But here's the thing. It's really bad for Tatum because it's one thing if myself or Nancy Grace or Don Lemon, if we go off and expose you, but it's another thing for the people who you claim to be defending, for them to come on Nancy Grace and expose you for lying is crazy, right? So the claim was these kids took a lie detector test, right? These kids took a polygraph.
Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on.
The Democrats are trying to take over Texas because I am advancing transformative policies the Democrats are.
YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but.
Oh boy, he's uptight right now. And he in the hot seat. And Nancy Grace is going to hand him his shit.
I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's
test,
from what
one.
You understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed.
I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that particular interview. It didn't go well for Tatum. Like, Nancy Grace destroyed Tatum in every corner. Like, Tatum was not the arrogant, pompous, condescending Tatum that he usually is with.
Yeah, he's not that. I just said he's uptight. He act like he going to trial.
People who he knows don't really know that much.
He also know Nancy Grace know the law back and forth, tall and short, and she don't spare nobody, not even Diddy.
Nancy Grace had Tatum terrified. This was the interview where Tatum was actually forced to admit that they didn't get a lie detector test. They didn't get a polygraph. All the boys did. Well, you'll find out shortly if all the boys got it, okay? But come to find out, that might have been a lie too. But this is the interview, and this was the first time that Tatum was actually forced to admit it wasn't a lie detector test. It was the equivalent of voice stress test. But on any other platform, and on his particular YouTube channel and show, he was telling that lie, oh, they got a polygraph, they passed it, y'all just... He went on Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace forced him to tell the truth. Now, the friends or the fake friends, their attorneys reacted to this claim by Tatum.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
No.
That is Officer Tatum from the Officer Tatum on YouTube joining us tonight.
Man, listen. Nancy's so cold. She got that Bob prime time. She knows what she finna do. She know exactly what she's doing. Even when she sits calm and looks at you, she knows when you're lying. That nigga is in the hot seat.
Our two very special guests. They are convinced of the friends, and when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat left, which would exonerate them.
If you watch Tatum's interview or the Chris Cuomo one or these other interviews they've done, they've been going around to these platforms with what they believe is their keystone evidence, which is, we got 2 eyewitnesses who said they see Nolan Wells on the island at 6 p.m. Now, I always thought that was kind of odd because Katie said she last seen Nolan when the boys was calling them over. Katie has a picture on the island at 5:30.
Okay.
So if Katie and Nolan...
Okay. 5:30. All right.
Nolan Wells was hanging out, and Katie was on the island at 5:30, and Katie is claiming that she didn't see Nolan on the island when she was there after the boys called him over. Then the eyewitnesses, to me, I don't know, man. But that's been like their keystone evidence. We got eyewitnesses. Nancy Grace does a really great job.
Nancy Grace always does a great job. That's why she's Nancy Grace.
At taking something that they believe is concrete, is their smoking gun, and she made this so ineffective within a span of like 10 minutes.
And I want y'all people to understand, even the lawyers should be petrified around Nancy Grace. She is definitely one of those ones.
Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men, with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first question to clear up this matter, have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test.
Look how fast. Look at them through everything. Everything is just out the window now. Officer man, come on, man. He lied that fast, and she just that fast.
And I can tell you why. Because any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. 2 of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to I'm not going to do a polygraph test because, one, as you know, they're not admissible in court. And so it wasn't going to be admissible anyway.
To be fair, I've heard that a ton. Like, I've heard attorneys say, bro, innocent or guilty, my client ain't taking no polygraph test, bro. It's just too risky, not happening. But ain't a polygraph test like 99% like accurate? I'm not sure.
I don't even think it's that accurate, just to be honest. It depends on your how you feeling for that day, your nerves. It's just, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it either. But even if I knew I wasn't lying, I still wouldn't want to do it. It's just, this is what I'm risking my freedom on? No, I don't want to do that.
Right, but so I've heard attorneys say this, so I'm not saying this is just exclusive to, I've heard of attorneys say this before. This is not brand new. But here's the strange part about this. Attorneys who don't allow their clients to take polygraph tests, they don't also allow their clients to take the equivalents to polygraphs lie detector tests, right? So if you would allow your clients to go in and take probably an easier version of the polygraph, an easier version of the lie detector test, an easier version is probably easier to pass. If you would allow them to take the easier version, like the voice stress test, if you would allow them to take the voice stress test, then why wouldn't you have allowed them to take the polygraph?
We promise a 10-fold refund if it doesn't work. Traditional dentures can cause jawbone loss and alter your facial contours over time, but these dentures completely avoid these problems.
Because lawyers or attorneys who are absolutely against polygraphs, they are also against less versions of the polygraphs. But if you're saying your clients took the voice stress test, but the polygraph is where you drew the line there, come on, son. Like, we not supposed to think that's sketchy? We not supposed to think that is off?
You should never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Life 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraphs tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan was with took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed. And so, again, no lawyer worth of salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
Okay, that's big, and that's very important. So let's slow it down for a second. Now, Tatum lied. That right there is a confirmation.
Tatum lied. That's what I was trying to say. I knew that when Nancy said it. When dude said no, my clients have not, Tatum lied. And why are you lying for them? If you're just a journalist that wants to get the story out. If you're not trying to paint a picture for innocent people, why are you lying? You just hurt them way more than you helped them.
Tatum lied. Tatum says all the boys took it. He's representing Warren, Jax, and Morgan. Warren, Jax, and Morgan, the friends who were supposedly on the boat, they didn't take the polygraph nor the voice stress test according to this dude right here, right? One other boy took the voice stress test, and then Katie, he says, took the polygraph. So Katie, the girl they're saying was with Nolan last, she took the polygraph, and in her polygraph, well, not in her polygraph, but her story was the last time I seen Nolan was when they was calling him over. Katie volunteered without an attorney because, again, Katie don't got Donald Trump's attorney. Katie don't got $200,000 from white supremacists. Katie do not have the resources they have. Katie says, bro, I got nothing to hide. She got up, took a polygraph without anybody being there to represent her, and she passed. But the grown men, because I'm done calling them boys, the grown men who says that...
Yeah, they try to paint a picture that they boys for sympathy. No, they grown.
They've been lied on. They won't go ahead and sit down for it. Now, here's the thing. They're filing civil suits. Nolan Wells' family intend on filing civil suits as well. In civil court, as Nancy Grace is about to point out, because their thing is, well, they're not admissible in criminal court. Yeah, but if y'all are innocent, y'all not worried about criminal court, right? Y'all worried about these civil suits. Well, in civil court, if both sides agree, apparently in Mississippi and in some states, if both sides agree and they sign an agreement beforehand, the lie detector test, the polygraph, can be entered in as evidence in a civil suit, in civil court. So if you guys...
But if they get you in civil, it makes it easier to get you in criminal. That's exactly what happened to the to O.J. Simpson. Not guilty in trial, in criminal, found guilty in civil.
Is filing lawsuits about, hey man, we innocent, and Nolan Wall's family is also filing certain lawsuits, I believe, then why wouldn't y'all take this polygraph? Both sides agree, yeah, let's sign, and we agree wholeheartedly. We would abide by the results of this polygraph, and y'all go ahead and sit down for it. Nancy Grace then pivots, right? She pivots for a little bit, and you about to see if she's so cold with it. She's so cold with it. She looks at Donald Trump's attorney, the guy who was wearing the Carl Cox hat, right? And she asks him a very simple question, a question that if you have nothing to hide is very simple. Here's what happened, here's what happened, here's what happened, right? She asked the dude, you are a powerhouse attorney. You are like Donald Trump's attorney. How did you get involved in this? How can these kids afford you? Now, the answer that's been suspected is the governor, the sheriff, some very high power people in Ocean Springs got this dude involved. But listen to his answer, and you tell me, would you trust these people? Would you trust these people after an answer like this?
Edward Polczyk joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema.
Energy security is on thin ice. Overburdened grid, rising costs, severe weather. Propane's affordable, abundant, and safe. That's your power play.
Dance is more than just using your body. So much of dance is in your expressions.
Squinting has likely contributed.
Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that.
He didn't expect for her to ask that. Not at all. Look how uncomfortable he get. They're already uncomfortable around Nancy Grace because ain't no telling what she's gonna do. All right? He's sweating bullets right now.
I can just tell you this.
What? What's so confidential about how you got involved in this case? Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, a friend of a friend. That could have been simple. Now, he eventually tries to use the friend of a friend excuse. But no, it's much deeper than that, bro. It's much deeper. It had to have been somebody in a position of power. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if the governor called and said, hey, bro, listen, man. Hey, listen, man. Yo, the race issue here is becoming a problem, bro. We need somebody to step in to go after these people, man, because they making it too loud. I wouldn't be surprised if the sheriff who was investigating, hey, bro, we need you. The only reason you wouldn't want to say is because some very powerful people who are probably involved with this case hit you up to go on the defense of potential suspects, which would be an odd thing, because if these potential suspects are supposed to be getting investigated, then the people that be in the people in power are calling you to defend. Like, it's just weird. Now, I can't confirm this. I don't know for a shadow of a doubt. This is just my opinion, but somebody say, oh, I can't talk about that. What? As an attorney, that's the best answer. Yo, even if you wanted to kind of, you felt like clean it up a little bit more, you could. But as an attorney, the best answer you had was, well, I can't talk about that. What?
Edward Polczyk joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer,
Well, I want to
that's
protect
just
the names that
Get him.
I wanna protect
igniting
the
me to find out how
Well,
you
hold
got
on.
involved in the case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you.
I don't know about y'all, but when somebody already gets caught in a lie, and they're like, hold on, and their eyes go like this, and their eyes go left, right, and up, and they're doing everything in their power to think up or something, that means they're probably about to tell you something that's not true. Bro already knew Nancy Grace was about to dive into this, so he went, wait, no, I can tell you more. So what? Like, there's not a human being, and you could be the most emotionally illiterate human being on planet Earth. You could see that body language with the eyes gesture and tell, okay, yeah, he about to tell us something that's clearly not true, right? In my opinion, allegedly, I have no facts.
A close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area.
Who's the close friend? Who's the close?
Probably the grandpa that owned the boat. They all plugged with each other, and that's why it was such a big deal. That's why it took so long for someone to get. It's taking so long for someone to get charged and tried in court. They're all connected.
Friend. Just give us their profession. Don't even give us their name. Give us their profession. Who's the close friend? Who knows the Ocean Spring area very, very, very well. It sounds like somebody in a position of power. It sounds like a mayor. It sounds like a governor. It sounds like a senator. It sounds like somebody who's on city council, maybe a sheriff, chief of police. It sounds like somebody who is really involved in the decision-making in Ocean Springs. And if that's the case, if somebody who is really involved, somebody who has authority and power in Ocean Springs, if they are on the side of the kid, these are grown men. If they're on the side of these grown men, then how can we be sure and confident that a thorough investigation would take place? How can we be sure that this investigation isn't already tainted or biased? There's a reason why he's not saying who exactly it is, because he understands how it was going to reflect once we know their profession or their title.
But you do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. Just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CETO?
We have witnesses, among other things, but I can also tell you this. They were off the island at 4:30 p.m., and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people at 6 p.m., still on the island. And I'm sure Tyler would be happy to elaborate on that, but this is a no doubt 100%.
Please tell me, Tyler.
Yes.
Had multiple witnesses reach out to us, two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th, well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. We've cooperated 100%. So has
Where did they
those
see
witnesses.
him, Tyler Cox? Where did the witnesses see them? Do they know him well enough to make a positive ID? Hey, speaking of a positive ID.
Here's the thing. These are attorneys. They know better, right? But they're able to get this off when they're talking to somebody like Officer Tatum, who's either ignorant or overzealous to believe them, right? So Nancy Grace says, hold on, bro. Y'all are attorneys. Y'all know the protocol when it comes to eyewitnesses. Like, y'all know the questions you got to ask and which questions disqualifies them from being credible. Did y'all propose those questions? And if you guys did not propose those questions, why are you guys so quick to believe them and take their word for it? So then she gave us a real life reenactment of how this is supposed to go, all right? She made the attorneys, well, not made them, right? She just effectively, right, by her arguments, put them in a hot seat. And she...
They was in a hot seat when they came up there playing, talking about I'd rather not say. Directly put them in the hot seat.
Cross-examined them. And they absolutely unraveled. Absolutely got humiliated. Here is Nancy Grace within probably like 30 or 40 seconds, completely debunking, right, the eyewitnesses see Nolan Wells. Completely debunking, annihilating it, getting it out the paint.
Mr. Paltzik, Mr. Cox, I know the two of you. I don't see both of them. There they are. The two of you have tried a lot of cases, as have I. To get in or attack an eyewitness, and it's in the code, the official code of Mississippi annotated. There are prescribed methods under which you cross-examine an eyewitness. For instance, does the witness know the target? Was the lighting sufficient? How far away was the witness? What were the conditions of the eyewitness identification? Was the eyewitness inebriated or high or otherwise incapacitated? How far away were they? Do they wear glasses? It goes on and on and on. It's laid out in the code. Tell me about these witnesses. How do they know it was Nolan? Hey, control room, show me that picture of Nolan on the boat. He's bent over. All I can see are his legs and his behind. The only reason I think that's Nolan is because it matches his swimsuit. Did they see that? How can they identify Nolan? First to you, Tyler.
Say hello to Zero. See exactly where your business stands with no guesswork. Get instant, accurate reports so you can make smarter decisions. It's powerful enough for your accountant, simple enough for you. Try Zero today.
Whole Earth sweeteners make baking a whole vibe, motivation a whole vibe, and girl.
Well, I'm not sure if the witnesses saw that picture that you just put on screen, but I can confirm to you that these witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID, and they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
Had they been drinking?
That I do not know.
You supposed to know, because those are questions you supposed to ask.
How are they sure it was 6 o'clock? Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking the questions I would ask in court. How do they know it was 6 o'clock? Did they go, oh, there's Nolan?
That's why you gotta have that good money for that good lawyer, Nancy Grace. She like a white Johnny Cochran, but she a white woman. She is vicious.
Well, it's at 6 p.m.
Well, I'm pretty sure, Nancy, they were aware of the time.
If they are incapacitated, you can't make that assumption for them because you don't know, because you didn't ask as a lawyer.
Man, listen, man. Hey, listen. Listen, bro. First off, man, right off the bat, how close were they? How far were they from Nolan? Where were they? Were they drinking? Were they drunk? Did these two know each other? Did they have a chance to corroborate their story together before? Like at this point, it's like, come on, bro. Now I see why those grown men ain't go on Nancy Grace.
She was gonna pick them apart. And these are the lawyers, Trump's lawyers. On top of that, the best lawyers money can buy. And they stumbling and fumbling over the words.
Now I see why the quote unquote friends ain't go on Nancy Grace too. Because if the lawyers were stumbling and fumbling and if the lawyers was having this hard of a time talking to Nancy Grace, can you imagine? Yo, bro, can you imagine Warren sitting through Nancy Grace cross-examination? And these questions shouldn't be this hard, bro. Like, my thing is,
they shouldn't be this hard when you did the work.
Yo, these lawyers understand and they know, right? They know, right, that the standard of proving an eyewitness credible, they know the standard, and they know the eyewitnesses that they have don't really meet that standard. But they're still parading the eyewitnesses out here as if they're credible because that's all they really have. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man, what y'all think about this, man.
Cooked. Man, I like looking at Nancy Grace, boy. I always said, man, I would not want her to be on my ass. She do not play. She kill everything with facts. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, this is Hellcat, back just giving you my 2 cents. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for daily content, hot topics, and my takes, right? Love what loves you. Take care of what takes care of you. I'm out.